Play. We appreciate everybody being here. This is the City Council, Payson City Council meeting for January 15th, 2025. The time is, we'll call it 6 o'clock, although it's maybe a minute or so after. Again, we'd like to welcome everyone here. We'll open this council meeting with prayer. Diane Jensen will do that for us.
Our Father in heaven, as we come to this city council meeting this evening, we pray for thy spirit to be with us, that we will all come in a spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood in this community to serve and to help this beautiful city of Payson be able to thrive and grow and be able to be of service to other people. We're grateful for all who serve and for all those who volunteer, and we pray that we will all have safekeeping as we travel home from this meeting this evening, and we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Diane. We'll have Jim Rowland lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, the nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Number one, approval of December 18th, 2024 City Council minutes. Number two, proclamation, cowboy poetry. Resolution, Payson City Police Department evidence allocation. And number four, resolution, South Valley Municipal Water Agency Board appointments. So as part of that consent agenda, do we have some names to review, Dave, or do we just go right straight to the motion? We can just go to the motion. Okay, unless there's any discussion of the item on the consent agenda, I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote starting with Council Hyatt.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Christensen.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll talk a little bit more about cowboy poetry a little bit later. I want to say a few things about it. So, okay. I'm going to D petitions. Number one, Chamber of Business, Employee or Community Service Award. Diane, are you up for that?
My favorite thing to do.
Wonderful.
So we'd like to invite the people from Walker Funeral Home who are with us tonight to come up. Walker, and you can face them. So that the audience can see you. Walker Funeral Home in Payson has been recognized as the Payson-Santa Clara Area Chamber of Commerce's Business of the Month. This prestigious award celebrates their long-standing commitment to the compassionate service and their dedication to the community. They were founded in 1951 by Lynn Walker, a World War II veteran. Walker Funeral Home began as a small family-run business in Spanish Fork. Lynn's desire to serve his community during life's most tender moments shaped the foundation of that company. Over the years, his sons, Alan and Stuart Walker, expanded on that vision, maintaining the highest ethical standards and opening the Payson location in 1977. Now led by the third generation, Adam Walker, Brad Walker, and Frank Lillywhite, the funeral home continues to embody the values of care, compassion, and community service instilled by Lynn. They offer a range of services. They're known for its personalized approach. And there were some comments that were made online that we wanted to give. Walker Mortuary recently helped our family and did an excellent job, so kind and caring. Someone else said, to put it simply, they are the one fulfilling the final cares and wishes for the residents of Payson. They are the best, excellent professional service. They listen, they're always personable, caring, and professional. They're kind and caring, providing great final care. Shout out to Stephen for being one of the most presentable people I've ever met.
Was definitely handling one of the worst times of my life, and this guy is straight as an arrow on what needs to be done. Thank you, Stephen, and thanks to you, Walker Funeral Home. And the last one, Jeff is the most kind and caring person. He helped make this difficult time so much more peaceful. This recognition from the Chamber of Commerce highlights Walker Funeral Home's unwavering dedication to providing meaningful, respectful care for the Payson and Santaquin communities. Their legacy is a testament of the power of family, tradition, and service. Congratulations to Walker Funeral Home on this well-deserved.
Diane, I would, before we do the pictures, I'd like to say ditto. Both my parents, my mother and father, we've used Walker's funeral home for both of them and extremely, extremely satisfied. So thank you and congratulations. You're behind you. Yeah.
Sure I can see all your faces.
Okay, Diane, thank you. Moving on to another chamber item, chamber quarterly report. Jim, thank you for being here. We haven't seen you for a while, and if you want to elaborate on that, we'll let you, but thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of months for sure, but I survived. That's the important thing. So, had a little issue in November, and it was actually one of my best Christmases. I stayed home for the entire month of December. I made one trip to Smith's for some hamburger buns, and that was all the shopping I did over the holidays.
That's all you ate over the holidays, Jim?
It's not all I
Poor guy.
It's the only time I got out, so. But I'm out and about today. I've got operation on Monday to put the device back in my body, and I'll be back to normal.
Well, we're grateful.
Thank you. So I'm Jim Rowland. I'm the president and CEO of the Payson Santaquin Chamber of Commerce. And I'd like to just provide you a little update on our 2024 and a couple of other things going on. So first of all, we want all of you to be sure you have on your calendars the gala on February 6th. If you'd be so kind to let Dave know who's coming, if any spouses or significant others are able to join you. We would love to have you all there at 6 p.m. This will be at the Santaquin City Hall multi-purpose room. We'll be handing out some business awards, and we'll be entertained by Payson's very own Ryan Stream. So if you're not familiar with Ryan's story, he's got a pretty amazing story, and would be a very motivational speaker for us. He'll sing, he'll talk, he'll make us laugh, he'll make us cry. Again, we'd love for y'all to be there.
That was at the chamber. Where is it going to be?
It's at the Santaquin City Hall.
City Hall.
Yep, their new multi-purpose room.
And that one more time, what time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Now, do you have a youth council or something?
Yeah.
Are you over there, Ryan?
Yes,
Can you invite your council? How many members?
we have 3 youth councils signed up right now. Yeah, and we also have a youth court that maybe we could pull from as well, some youth that I'd love to get
Yeah,
engaged
I
if we
think
have the
that you're
space.
really interested to hear Ryan speak for one, and I think it'd be a really fun night
So,
out for you.
I'm okay to invite those youth to this.
Yeah,
coming up,
and
okay?
if you just let Dave know their names so that we can get everybody registered.
Actually, yeah, I hope someone will come. That'd be a good night for them.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so this year's theme for the chamber, and something Ryan will touch on, is focused on Garage to Great. Our motivation is to help our local businesses with the resources needed to get to the next level of success, whatever that next level is. Garage to Great is dedicated to help the hundreds of small home-based businesses to move out of their garage, if they choose to, and increase their revenue, which supports our entire community. So we're pretty excited about this incentive. We got a grant from the governor's office to assist in this process, and we'll continue to brainstorm and figure out the best way to utilize that grant money and to help these businesses grow. We're not solely focused on small home-based businesses. Any other business that is looking to grow, most of our businesses need help doing something, right, Teresa? And here's a recap of some of the Chamber's accomplishments and activities for 2024. Unfortunately, I didn't record each one that happened. So from memory, I believe we did about a dozen ribbon cuttings in the area. We recognized 12 different Business of the Month and Community Service recipients. We hosted 21 breakfast clubs and 11 lunch, meet and eat networking and educational events. We worked with Santa Quinn Recreation to run our most successful hometown market events in Santa Quinn, organizing 7 nights of entertainment, shopping, and fun. We put on our 2nd annual Small Business Saturday event on Payson Main Street. We organized our 2nd annual Family Bowling Nights. I don't know if any of you came to that last year, but our 3rd annual will be on St. Patty's Day. And again, you're all invited, March 17th. So free bowling, laser, pizza, and soda. We had a chamber booth set up at about 5 other events. We improved our social media presence and promoted several businesses on it. We put out a high quality and very well received Community Guide magazine to showcase our members and other local businesses, delivered to over 15,000 homes and businesses. Organized and received great feedback promoting about 40 winners of the Athlete of the Week program. Probably the most talked about thing we put on social media is the Athlete of the Week. So that's been a big success. We organized a wonderful awards gala at the Benyon Veterans Home last year with Nathan Osmond. And I personally attended a number of other conferences to learn ways of supporting our members and running the chamber better. We organized a successful Passport to Summer booklet that introduced many residents to our local businesses and ended with over 200 people attending a pool party with lots of prizes and a thunderstorm. Here I sound early. I increased my hours of work and took a cut in pay in order to hire an assistant and pay for our marketing our members better. We secured a $92,000 grant from the governor's office, which is again going to help us this year. And I took a 6-week hiatus for a medical emergency. We brought in 53 new chamber members, had 15 members close or move, and dropped 29 others for various reasons, for a total of 159 members, 11 more net than what we started with. At the end of 2023, we had $28,000 in the bank. At the end of 24, we had $20,000 plus the initial $69,700 of grant money. We currently have 2 staff members, 2 part-time staff members, myself, President and CEO, and Christopher Scadden, the Executive Assistant. And that's my report.
Thank you.
Any questions or
Questions, Council?
wishes or desires for the Chamber of Commerce?
Comments?
Yeah, just one thing that with your, what is it, garage to
Great.
to what?
Garage to great.
The great, with the Business Innovation Center coming online, there's gonna be some spaces there for people that are trying to move out of
Yeah,
garages. So.
definitely gonna work with you on that. You owe me a URL for something we talked about at the economic development. Do you remember what that is?
No.
Okay.
Jim, you do a good job. Thank you for all your time and energy you put into the chamber and supporting local businesses. It's so important to have an organization that you head that helps us attract businesses when they have an instant networking support group when they come to town. So thank you. You put a lot of hours. And Diane, thank you to you as well. Is there any different support? If you could snap your fingers and have something from Payson City, how can we help you guys?
Well, we just hired an intern and we are going through the 700 business licenses to categorize everybody. So I got her kind of formulating a list of all those businesses, whether they're service or product oriented, and then kind of categorize them into manufacturing, medical. Office space is one thing that we struggle with. I get a call quite often about people looking for office space. It would be really great if we had a database of office space available. So after my intern goes through the 700 businesses, we're going to kind of work on that and try to figure out where to go. So if you've got a crystal ball on who to talk to and
There should be in the future, with Redbridge, there should be some office space down there. It's coming.
yeah, it's amazing how many little spaces are available throughout the city that if you don't stumble across it, you don't know about it. So I don't know if you got any ideas on how to guide her to kind of do that research. That would be very helpful in the next week or two.
Is that something that Marty could kind of interact a bit? So, we'll have Marty.
I think we're gonna talk with Robert as well and see if we come up with a good strategy. I think it'd be really good for Brian and, as he converses with many businesses as well, so.
And I'd like to say thank you as well to Jim and Diane. You guys are a pleasure to work with. I look forward to this coming year and all the activities and all the stuff that you do. So thank you so much.
Thanks, and you look really good, again, for your day's experience. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night too.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to just echo that as well. We've always had a good relationship with the chamber, and it's been a good organization. You and Diane have taken it to another level,
Thank you.
and we're very appreciative of that.
Great. Well, we appreciate all you do for the city and the support of the chamber as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Dave, do we need to table this, or do you want to let us know? Yes, we're on number 3, sorry. I'd already crossed it off.
Don't table that one.
No. Okay, yard of the month, Council Moss.
Okay. Can we have the Zavela family come up here, please? We have these two beautiful ladies here, so we can present to them the Payson City Christmas Yard of the Month for 2024. They put so many lights up, and it was beautiful, and they had a lot of nominations, and so we are pleased to present to them the certificate of appreciation and a $100 gift card to Wilson's Nursery. So thank you so much. That right here.
You okay? Ellen? Okay.
Thank you to everyone.
Okay, number 4, Dave.
Mayor and council, we had on the item, we invited Mark Dehart and Scott Phillips to come and let you address or ask some questions about the strawberry board. They're both running. I did get a call and then a text from Scott just about a half an hour ago saying he's withdrawn his name as a candidate. So I called Mark, but I think he was on earlier. I said, there might not be any discussion, but, because there's only one candidate, so.
I don't know that, talking to most of the council, there's no need to really have a discussion, is there?
You could just table that item.
Okay. Council, would you allow me to go ahead and table this item?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. We'll table that. Moving on to number 5, public forum. Anyone can speak, on something that's not on the agenda. Please remember to be concise with your comments. Limit your time if you can to around 3 minutes or so. We'll be a little liberal with that. And let us know who you are. Come on up. Thank you for being here.
Hi, my name is Brittany Johnson. And I've been meaning to do this for months. I've come here a couple times, but I don't know, I always show up late, but I got here on time. So I've been the recipient twice now of your utility credit for when, people are deployed with the military. And it's increased. My husband's in the military long enough that I know you've increased it, and I just wanted to give you some feedback and let you know that it's very appreciated. And I know lots of other military families, that they don't get it. And I just wanted to thank you guys and know it does help. It's eased the burden, and it's a comfort, and it is very helpful. So thank you.
Appreciate it very, very much.
We cherish our veterans, so we'll keep supporting it.
Yeah, thank your husband for serving.
I will, I'll tell them.
Anyone else want to take advantage of the time? Anybody online? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public forum then, and we'll move to staff reports. Okay, Sarah.
This is for you, Brett.
Thank you.
So Mayor and Council, just a quick update. I know Councilwoman Moss sees this every day, but 930 West is closed from 1400 South to 1130 South. That is our project. We're replacing the box culverts there, and then when that one's done, we'll move over to the west and redo that one too. That goes into the 55 and older community. So we got a grant from that for those, so that will be a good one. And then on Friday, for most of the day, where Main Street and 1800 South meet, that will be closed because they're going to be doing a water line tie-in there for that Patterson development right there. So not that most of you probably go that way, but just in case you get anything, we are putting that on social media too, just to let everybody know. So, unless you have any questions, that's kind of just a quick update.
Just along with that, we're hopeful that, Travis, that we're working on getting some funding to replace that culvert, right? That's right there on 930 West. That's part of the NCRS stuff.
So we're doing the culverts right now.
Oh, you do it?
Yeah, they pulled that out of the NRCS project because they said it wasn't eligible, so we had to go get other funding. The NRCS project, when and if we ever get that money, we'll actually widen the channel and concrete line it through that area. And then we'll apply through FEMA to do a map amendment, and then we can pull that whole area hopefully out of the floodplain. So Walmart, all those homes, that's our goal eventually.
And then we need to have I-15 UDOT replaced there.
And UDOT, I heard, is in the process of trying to hire a consultant to design their culvert that goes underneath I-15, and then they'll replace that sometime in the future.
And then Red Bridge Development will replace that on 1700 West.
Correct. So we're making some good progress in that area.
Thanks, Travis.
Okay, any other staff? Oh, come on up.
I wasn't coming up till Travis started talking about 930 West. Just one thing to remember, the park that we talked about. So that's going in, unless you guys decide otherwise, that'll be we're putting that in the budget currently, which won't start until July. So just made me think if Kathy, I can feel Kathy's eyes in the back of my head right now. If you wanted to open that up and fund that earlier, then we would start on that first thing in the spring. So that's just something for you guys to think about on.
Otherwise, we wait till after.
Otherwise, July 1st is when.
Next budget year.
Yeah, next budget year is when that money would become available for us to start on that, so. I don't know if you.
Is that ideal for plants and grass or?
No, it'd be ideal, probably spring, spring, and it's a big project, so we'd probably put trees and everything in the fall. But to do a lot of the other stuff, we'd like to get started on it, but once that finishes with the culvert in the road, I just want to let you know that that's where we're at, it's still on our list, but it won't start until July as of right now.
So Tracy, one thing we would love to do is to look at an outdoor recreation grant for that. It should fit really well, so.
That'd be great, yeah, yeah. I have the numbers for that, so we kind of went over that at the retreat, so. We had a proposal at the golf course over the Christmas break, so that was pretty cool. And we have
And she
a
accepted.
bald eagle. Yeah, she did accept. I was hiding in the pro shop looking out of sight. That looked like she said yes. I don't know him, but hopefully it works out. And then we have a bald eagle and a golden eagle that seems to be feeding on an elk up there. So it's pretty exciting.
It's a big deal.
I don't have anything that exciting, but council members, I was approached last Thursday as I was heading out to the dentist from UDOT has a proposed project at the intersection of US 6 and Highway 89 at the Thistle Junction. So if you've traveled that road, you're probably familiar with this location. The proposal is actually to do a grade separated underpass to allow people coming from Highway 89 to get onto Highway 6 in a much safer manner. As a former resident of Emory County, this would be amazing. And somebody that travels that road frequently, I think this
That's
is.
where they have the rocks on the hillside where there was fatality, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
some friends of mine actually. So we also have a member of our staff that travels this road every single day. And so the UDOT is actually seeking community support of a grant application that they are seeking funding to help pay for this project. It's part of the 2025 Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity program grant. And so if we were to get this, or if UDOT was to get this funding, it would help alleviate some of the cost of this because I'm sure it's exorbitant like everything else. If you would like to sign one of these support letters, I have them here on the desk and you can just do that after the meeting.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Come on up, chief.
Let's start it here. Mayor and Council, it's good to be here with you today. Just a couple of things. As you know, we've mentioned before, but we do every month, except for usually like July and December, we have a monthly preparedness meeting for our citizens. Where we meet with local groups that cover all of our city. We do that through our different religious organizations and divide up the city and have them help with our emergency preparedness and response areas and our neighborhood rapid response. We don't do block captains anymore, but so we usually meet them about 6 o'clock and then have training for anybody in the city who wants to come on different subjects through the month. So we try and make that something enticing to get people there. So we seem to be getting more and more people coming to those meetings. But want to let you know, we just finally got back from the printer. It's taken a couple of months. We try and do these books every couple of years or 2 to 3 years, the Family Preparedness Guide. We try and update them a little bit, but pretty much stay the same. So we pass these out through the whole city to all the households and neighboring homes out around that may be in the county as well that still come into our community. So it's just a good guide for them to see some of the basic things to be prepared to help them in an event. And there's a lot of things online that we help try and provide information and things too. So you should start seeing these come out to our households in the next few weeks as those get delivered. Also, we're just working right now with our different programs for wildland fire. I know that's been a point of some questions with people, but we have a couple of things. First, we're dealing with what we call our CWS system. So a few years ago, the state made changes to allow the cities to participate in this program. Before it was just counties. So if we had a fire that started in Payson City, we'd be responsible for our proportionate share of the wildland fire. But now with this program, and they prorate us every year, we have to come up with money or programs or in-kind service to meet our match. So we don't have to pay any of those. So if we had a significant fire like you see in LA, That would all be covered through state and federal funds, and we really wouldn't have to, come up with all that money. Because as you know, just like with Bull Creek and Bald Mountain Fire, how many millions they spent on that, even if our match was 10%, it's a lot. So for our city right now, it's about 11,000, so not bad at all. We're also working on our community preparedness plan, updating that for some all hazards mitigation. So we'll be bringing that to you here in a couple of months to get approval and go through that process of adopting that. So just some of the things we're working on, but I'll give you guys a copy of this booklet so you can look at it, and if you have any questions, let us know. And anything needs to be updated, let us know. We just make notes, and the next time we print, we just make those changes and try to keep things updated and current. We do put an electronic copy on our website so people can download those and have quick access to it as well. And we try and do bright colors so people can find them. So they don't blend with things. Yeah. So you can see at least the color of the book. Yeah.
Thanks, Chief.
Like people that have stuff. I know like growing up in the canyon, I've seen all these houses and they've got all this wood stuff. Like,
So
how do we manage that?
we can encourage and we talk to people, but we can't force them to do it. Like you see in California, a lot of people didn't do that.
Yeah, that's, like,
Yeah. So we try and do stuff at our open houses and things with the WAC documentation that people.
can we do that with the city at all? Like, make it so that,
In
I
the
don't know.
defensible area.
Defensible space and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's some cities that have programs where they'll bring in crews and they'll do mitigation and help cut growth, or if the citizens will cut the brush back, they'll bring in shredder or chippers and stuff and chip all the product and haul it off.
I just wonder, there's some places I can see that probably need that.
Yes, or along.
Thanks, Chief.
So Chief, I think we've got a question for you back here. Chief.
I was just wondering, how do we find out about those training emergency preparedness meetings?
So we put them on our Facebook page. We just put out one for the year.
Oh.
So if you go to the fire department Facebook page, and the city Facebook page, it'll show the schedule of the events and the subjects that we teach. So, or you can call our office 5252 and we'll give you all the information and send it to you.
So Chief, is there a reason we can't put it on our calendar, on our webpage for
Yeah.
the city?
No, we can do that too. Yeah. Yeah, it's on, I should say, it is on our webpage too, but we can make it more front and center. Yeah.
For the park guy, where is this new park?
9:30, towards the temple,
Okay.
you know, on 9:30 on the east side of the road. Where the trail goes, we're gonna continue the trail across there and just, grass that area and make it nice with some benches and some different things.
Oh, okay, okay, just keep the trail going.
Yes,
Nice.
yeah, it's
It
connected.
won't be a big park, but it'll be
Yeah, no.
much better than what it is now.
It'll be landscaped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be just Mother Nature doing its thing now, so.
Yeah.
And we'll have curb appeal.
Nice.
Okay, any other staff? If not, we'll go ahead and move on to council reports, starting with Council Christensen.
It was a pretty good December, didn't have much going on, so. Getting into the mountains, yeah, got a little snow, we could use a little more moisture, but I don't think we're too far behind, so, but we're good, thanks.
So I just had a couple of things. One is, with MTech, they just wanted to say how much they appreciate the power department. So pass it on to your staff. They said that you guys just done an exceptional job, gone way above what you need to do, so. Also, there are a couple billboards up now, talk about the Payson, the MTech, building, and that our enrollment's gonna start in April, so they're starting to put those up. I think there's one in Sanic, one up by Spanish Fork, so that's gonna be exciting to start having some classes there. So let people know that in April when you can start signing up, because usually they'll fill up really quick. And the other thing is just an update on, we haven't talked about this for quite a while, but the Forest Service is working on doing a parking lot just past the Boy Scout camp where the hairpin turn is. And part of that problem is it's taking so long is because the Boy Scout has taken over some property that's Forest Service property, so they're trying to exchange some land, but it still is on their priority list to do that. So that really helped for especially for winter sports up there to have some parking there. So that's still moving forward.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to report to the city council and the residents and the department heads. We've been having a few meetings with UDOT concerning the new Main Street interchange that is coming. And it's in the early stages. We're just seeing the very beginning stages of design and scope of this. Hopefully it'll be shovel ready in 2027. It's when we might see a new interchange, and as well as a new road hooking up to SR 198, presently called the Mount Nebo Beltway, but the name is still up in the air. And just know that design is early on. The scope's changing. The mayor and Jill and I were in those meetings, and it's going to be a slow process, but worthwhile. And we're going to keep hot on their heels to make sure that that project continues to move forward. And we need some more funding to secure the scope that we need.
We'll continue to work on that.
Yeah. And that's all that I have.
Just in connection with that, ladies and gentlemen, this project, we're very, very fortunate to be able to be working on this project. We were told at one point in time it would be at least 15 to 20 years before we would have it. We worked real hard as a council and staff to get the funding that is necessary. And so we're going to be the benefactors of that hard work that we've all been part of. I just want to brag a little bit on that. I don't generally do this, but I am part of the Cowboy Poets of Utah. I told you there'd be something on that. But Cowboy Poets of Utah for the last 10 or so years have been doing the symposium, the business meetings down at the Veterans Home. And if you notice, there's a Cowboy Poetry proclamation that this week is Cowboy Poetry Week. This year, it will be the Cowboy Poetry and the International Western Music Association that will be putting on a concert after our business meetings. This will be January the 18th at 7 o'clock down at the Veterans Home at 1551 North Main. It will be a free concert for veterans there at the home, and any veteran would like to come. It would be $5 per person if you would like to come down and enjoy a night of poetry and cowboy music. We will, as an association, split the money that is generated from the tickets with the Veterans Home Activity Fund. So would you please encourage your family members to come and participate in that? It'll be a fun night. So wanted to let you know that. So thank you.
We're not going to do a little poem?
No, I'm not going to. Ain't prepared.
I don't have much to say today, but I do want to thank our staff and all that you guys do. You guys are always willing to make phone calls and answer our questions and give us as much information as we need to make the decisions and the judgments that we need to make. And I just want to let you know that you're very, very much appreciated. All of you who are here and everyone who is not here. And that's all I have.
Thank you, man.
She made me think you've already forgot. So tell them what she said. Robert, especially you, because I feel like to you. And I like it that you give me ideas. So
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Council. It's a pleasure to work with every one of you and our staff.
We do have a new director of development services. I'd like to welcome Jill.
There you
to the
go.
Table.
I'm glad.
And it's just been a while and we've missed some meetings, but I didn't want it to go
No,
unnoticed.
that's good.
But we're super excited about that and look forward to great things that you'll accomplish.
And I flew under the Christmas radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I made the statement, we still have the dream team, so appreciate you very much.
And if you need someone to show you around the place, I think Steve Smith would be a good one for you to reach out to. Not Steve Smith, Steve Spencer, I mean. Steve Spencer, to show you around the place if you get lost.
Yeah. Okay, moving on, we'll go to E, action items, resolution library appointments. Carl?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm here as well. Of course, Donna's here, our librarian. It's come time to appoint 2 new board members. I'd like to thank those outgoing members. Jennifer Hinton has served 1 year, and Brittany Johnson has served 1 term, and Brittany Johnson served 2 terms on the library board, and at this point needs to move on. But she has worked in the library for 12 plus years supporting the library, and she's still on Friends of Library, so we're excited to have her still there. The Hintons have been volunteers in the community in many ways, and Jennifer on the board, and she would like to be reappointed as well for a 2nd term. And also we have Lynn Oriole here that's recommended to be appointed to the board. She has served as the Santaquin librarian for 27 years and has retired and has lived in Payson the last 20, but did I mess that up?
No.
But grew up here as well.
Yeah.
Went to Wilson,
The
probably had a
last
class, yeah, right where we're at. But has been in Payson many years, but has been back now for the last 20, but still local the whole time. So those are our 2 people, Jennifer Hinton and Lynn Oriole for the library board.
Thank you, Carl, for presenting those names to us.
Donna, anything you'd like to add?
Come on up.
I'm going to give Brittany this bag that she actually designed for the Friends of the Library with a Payson puzzle in it and some buttons for the library.
Would you like to have a picture with that? Would you like to have a picture with the council with that?
Oh,
We'd love to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And
Let's do it.
with Lynn, with our new
We'll
person.
go ahead and take care of the motion first, then we'll do that, shall we? Okay, so I'm ready, unless there's any discussion.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Mayor, I'd like to motion that we approve the appointments of the new members of the library board.
I second.
Okay, that'll be a roll call vote, starting with Council Hyatt.
Yeah.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Christensen.
Yes.
Thank you, motion carries. Now we can have a picture. I mean,
Yes, we have a picture.
Donna and Ann are on the board as well.
Yes.
And then there's 6 total board members.
You're okay up here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's go to the work with Everett.
Yeah.
okay, moving on to number 2. Ordinance amendments to Title 11.04.030F, snow removal from streets. David?
So Mayor and Council, we did listen to what some of you had said, and we, Adam County had sent some examples. We looked through several other cities' ordinances, and we drafted up an ordinance that we put before you, dealing with snow removal. It basically says now that no person shall park or place any vehicle on any city street or right of way during the snowstorm. And during the snowstorm shall mean at any point in time that snow begins to accumulate on the streets rather than melt. These restrictions on parking shall be in effect for up to 48 hours after the snowstorm. It does give the mayor the chance to extend that longer than 48 hours if it's a extremely long and rough storm. So that's basically the changes. It takes out the time limits of parking, other things. The other thing it does give, it does give the police the ability to issue citations and actually tow vehicles if they're parked there during the storm. So
Does that say 48 hours after the completion of the snowstorm or after the start?
it's after 48 hours after the snowstorm.
So that would, further, it was after it stops.
Yeah, after it stops. But it does give the mayor the ability to extend it farther than that, because if you have a big, we haven't had many of them, but you get a big snowstorm, it might take more than 48 hours to get everything cleaned up. But, so that's something that several cities have gone to, similar lengths like this, and, with some of the complaints you guys have heard, and so it's put before you if you want to adopt that, we'll try to get that word out, and we, you know, the department heads have got over it, the police have looked at it, and we'll do the best we can to make this work.
I'm really excited about this prospect. I think this will make sense. And Chief Bishop, you're online, yes? He stepped
Is he
away.
asleep?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
So, yeah, so Chief, with this, is there anything that we should change or you see differently, or do you think this will be a good thing to move forward with? I just want to make sure that you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it.
Okay,
I think it'll help relieve some of the pressure that's on the police officers as well.
so darn it, we just don't seem to get the valley storms.
Yeah, we don't have the storm.
Yeah, it just, yeah, so
And if it's not something that works, that's the beauty of where we are. We can make changes and go
We
back.
can always address it again, but this, I think this will work well.
Just one
Seems to
second,
me like we-
I have that question.
How's it different than what it used to be?
You couldn't park on the roads from November 1st to March 31st.
At all.
Yeah.
At night, from 10:30
now you
to
can unless it snows. So much better change, yeah. Yeah, and that's for the police to be ticketing all the time, yeah.
Any council discussion other than what we've had?
This is an ordinance, so it's not effective until it's published.
Right.
So it'll probably be a week or two before it's, in effect. But we'll put that out on social media, we'll put it out on our website, and try to make everybody aware of it.
Okay, I'm ready for a motion then.
All right. Go ahead, Brian. I motion that we make amendments to title 11.04.030 regarding snow removal from streets.
Okay, we have a motion and second, roll call vote, starting with Council Christensen.
Yes.
Council Hewitt. Yes. Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Ivey.
Yes.
Thank you, motion
Thank you.
carries. Thank you for, I believe, and you were the one that brought that up. Thank you for bringing it up, and it's been a good thing. Okay, we'd like to, at this point in time, go into a work session, regarding roads and sidewalk condition. Travis, you're up again.
Is this the study we had done?
Yes.
Excited to see the results. I don't want to know the results.
And please don't rush Travis, you know, he never makes any comments like that. We'll give you all the time he needs.
Travis, you have all the
Make it short, sweet, Travis.
You have exactly 72 seconds.
He's gonna show us a picture of every pothole.
Yeah. I'm gonna go, this is like a 4-hour presentation. It'll be the most exciting one you guys have ever had.
I love that picture is cropped right where the potholes start. Well done.
They already said they give us their support, so that means money.
Yeah.
That's all right. We don't need their presentation.
So I thought I would show you the latest and greatest road we have done in the city that obviously turned out very well. A little more expensive than the average one, but it was good, so. So anyway, I just wanted to quickly show you guys, so we did a study with LTAP, so that's the Utah Local Technical Assistance Program. They're kind of in conjunction with Utah State. So they came in, they actually drove every road, drove every sidewalk, took videos, had a computer analyze it. So I'll get into all those details, but that's just kind of a little bit of background. So I'm just gonna go over the street ratings that they came up with, kind of some costs that they showed based on our existing budget. Go over what the sidewalks and that, the status of those, and then the same thing with cost. And then if you have any questions, just interrupt me rather than wait till the end and we can go over whatever. So I'm just gonna start off, like I said, with the pavement assessment. So obviously, one of the reasons we did this is, you know, proper road maintenance is a big deal, and the earlier we can do something, the better off. I mean, you know, it's impossible to obviously do every road every year. One, it's logistically impossible with residents and businesses, but it would be too expensive. But obviously, we need to do what we can. So like I said, we did every road in the city.
And they analyzed it for structural and environmental distresses, so if you've ever seen them, that could be anything from cracks, like where the travel lane is, if you ever see the wheel path where it's sunk down in and it looks like that, that could be that, you know, if you head out to the landfill, that last stop sign right before you head up the hill, it's all the asphalt shoved. That's obviously, it's just stuff like that, that based on different reasons, that stuff happens. So a typical road, when you build it brand new, if you didn't touch it again, you did absolutely nothing to it. It's technically made to last 20 years. So that's what RSL stands for. It's remaining service life. So when you see a number 20 is really awesome. 1 is obviously, you know, it has 1 year of life left. So that's not good. So I know this is a little hard to see. I can go back I've got a PDF of it, but this is just kind of an overview of their study. I mean, like, obviously they included everything. They included like the cemetery and stuff, which typically we wouldn't rate that as a road, but that is in here. So there are a few roads we would take out of this when we do redo it, but just so you kind of know, red is obviously really bad. That's a 0 to 6 year life. Orange gets a little better, yellow's better, and green's awesome. So, you know,
Cemetery just got repaved, yes?
yeah.
Yeah, we need it on there.
Yeah.
All of it increased. Yeah, my color by like 60%.
I mean, I'm not gonna zoom way in, but we obviously have this, you know, I can send it to you. It's in the packet too, but you can just see, we have some areas that definitely need some work. Other areas are better. So just, you know, just so you kind of know, like I said, this is in there, and if you have any questions. let me know.
So Travis, how's this compared to 5 years ago when we did this study on our roads? Are we staying about the same, getting worse?
Obviously, some roads are getting a lot better, you know, I mean, Ken's been.
But overall,
Yeah, I mean, we're a little better. I mean, we're not, you know, Central Utah obviously helped. We redid some parts of Main Street. We did all 1400 South, you know, 700 South got all redone. So, you know, and then obviously we're working on the other parts of Main Street. So we're definitely improving, but it's just it's an uphill battle, as you can see, with some areas.
With the budget we have, it's something.
Yeah, and I'll get into that a little bit, not in detail, not a great detail, but I'll kind of show that in a minute.
So Travis, you showed a 20-year life for a road. Does that change when the road's put in place with no curb and gutter? Is that?
On the edges, definitely will have higher failure because you don't have that concrete pushing up, you know, that the asphalt's right up against. So, you know, as you notice, like on a highway or anything, the edges tend to break off more if people especially are driving on them. So like in a city, if you have a road that doesn't have any curb and gutter, every time they go in and out of it, it's damaging it because it's hard to keep that shoulder, obviously with gravel or anything, perfectly level and structurally sound. So yeah, it doesn't help if you don't have it.
Did you see a correlation? I mean, all those red areas, probably older parts of town, did a lot of that not have curb and gutter, I wonder?
They don't have that. Standards have obviously updated. You know, we require right now on a residential road, 3.5 inches of asphalt, 8 inches of road base, and then depending on the geotechnical study, it could have even sub base underneath it. You know, some of our older roads don't have the same amount of asphalt that we require now. They don't have as much road base, so that doesn't help your situation. And then obviously the more heavy truck traffic or buses you have on it also can deteriorate it faster than what it is. So
going back to,
Oh, sorry. I just noticing up there in that, it looks like in the Arrowhead subdivision, they've got red lines. Why?
yeah, I'll have to ask them about that because obviously those roads are brand new. They're not failing, so I'll have to ask them why. We have shape files of this too, so Joe and me and Jonathan can access those and that. But yeah, I noticed that when I was putting this together that those were red up there, and I don't know, I don't have a good answer for that one because they shouldn't obviously be. They're brand new.
Well, but the roads to the new subdivisions, they're bad. They're all old.
Yeah, but he's talking about these up here.
Some of those are failing.
Yeah, I know.
Brand new roads.
Lost my
I mean,
mind.
you're not brand new,
But
but
under 5 years.
I mean, but when you build on.
7
on a
years old,
wet-
they've
when
been
you
built
build on a
since I've been
wetland,
there. Yeah, but they shouldn't be red.
They shouldn't be red.
The amount of truck traffic that was going through there.
And, they probably didn't have the proper geotextile fabric underneath it, or proper compaction of water. There's a lot of stuff that goes into when you build on a wetland.
So is that out there by West Mountain? So like
No, it's out.
It's
That's what I'm asking, because like they came and they redid the road last year, Utah County did. And so like going out, it's not bad, but coming, because then they're loaded when they come back. Literally, they're like that. It's never, ever, ever been that way in my 40 years out there.
Yeah, like I said, the more truck traffic, when you do a road analysis design, they'll take into account the traffic. Trucks obviously add into that, so if that percentage goes up and that road was designed at a certain level, that just helps it go faster.
Do they fix it? I mean, who has to push that issue?
Good. Yeah, well, either the county or us, you just get stuck with it. I mean, there is no mechanism to go say, hey, Kilgore or whoever, you know,
Well, no,
you're
that's-
causing this.
No, because there are so many trucks on that road every day now. I mean, it's just truck after truck after
So
truck.
when we do a road analysis though here in town, would a road that has a lot of truck traffic, would we pave it different than one that doesn't?
Yes, so like in the business park, say a collector or arterial road, we bump that up to 5 inches of asphalt.
Okay.
And at a geotech study, if it's horrible soil, that could even go up. You know, that cross section, that's our minimum, but that thickness can go up based on what's actually going on. So if you had a business that, you know, say an Amazon warehouse came in and you knew that there was just a bajillion trucks coming in and out, that design most likely would go up.
For example, where the Jones Payton Glass building, the manufacturing building is the new 1450 East that connects American Way to Utah Avenue. That's a local classification road, but we had them install the 5 inches of asphalt, which is the collector section, because we knew there would be a high amount of truck traffic cutting from American Way up to Utah Avenue, just because it bypasses that last S curve through American Way. And so that's
That's
one of the
running adjacent
examples.
to the railroad tracks, correct? Yeah, so that road was paved with thicker than.
With thicker asphalt, because we knew American Way carries a higher volume of truck traffic, Utah Avenue carries truck traffic, and we knew this road would carry truck traffic. So even though it's a local classification road, we had it paved with 5 inches of asphalt rather than the typical 3.5.
Do we have to cover the cost of that, or is that passed on to the developers? How does that work?
If we know that say it's a new building, then obviously the development's gonna pay for that. If it's obviously something that came up later, we're gonna have to pay for that, you know, but it just depends. I mean, if we can, we obviously make do development pay for it. That doesn't obviously always.
In that situation, did Jones Paint Glass pay for any of that road?
Yeah, they built their half, and then the Easton built the other section.
Okay.
And so, we'll likely go in and finish the road because there's not much that can develop on the other side.
Right. Okay, very good.
Travis, quick question for you. You talked about 20 years if we did nothing to the roads. How long do they figure the roads will last if we do crack seal and slurry and things like that?
That's a good question, and I will show you that in just a minute.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time, this is just kind of a percentage breakdown. Like I said, this is a little false in the fact, like it counts some of the cemetery and some roads that probably shouldn't be in here. So that number is not quite as high, but obviously you can kind of see, they're hard to read, I know, but you can see we have a little bit higher on the low end than we would like on some roads, but every city's in that same boat. I don't know one that has everything. So this is just a quick slide to kind of show, like routine maintenance would be like your crack sealing and stuff. Like obviously you can see the worse the road gets and the more treatment we have to do, the more the cost goes up. So the bottom one is a reconstruction, which means you're taking everything off the road base, the asphalt, you're rebuilding it all. And that's not counting utilities, obviously, that's just the road itself. So it just obviously gets a lot more expensive the longer we wait to do something. So that's one thing we're trying to do. So here's an answer to your question, Brian. So obviously, as time goes by, that road condition obviously goes down because the service life goes down. If you do different treatments, you can see that you bump it back up, and then obviously it starts going back down again. So if you can do routine, treatments like crack sealing, slurry seals, you can keep that road a lot better, and then, eventually you might have to even overlay it. But if you can stay out of the reconstruction, you obviously save a lot. So that just kind of shows you, I mean, there's no obviously indefinite life that you can do it. Eventually it's gonna fall apart like everything, but you can definitely stretch it out a lot farther if you keep up on your maintenance, so.
It looks like where we have utilities that aren't that old, if we can keep that up. Some of the places where, real bad roads probably have bad utilities too, so it
Yes.
doesn't make sense to just keep fixing
Yeah, and
it.
Ken can attest, if we pave a road and we don't do the utilities under it a lot of times, especially in the old areas, as we pave it, we're right after, then the water line will break and then we're digging it right back up, which of course makes us all look stupid because you're digging up something you just barely did and that doesn't, I mean, it can happen even on a brand new subdivision, but
That
obviously it's
that
less.
comes back with how much money we have to put.
Correct.
And ideally, the goal would be to get onto a maintenance program that would get every road in the city treated once in a 5-year period. And so you divide up the city and you do, your budget and you figure out what needs to be done. And so every road is getting some sort of treatment every 5 years. And so like Travis said, if it's a brand new road, in 5 years, it might only need a slurry seal and that bumps, basically resets its service life. If it's, if it's at a 10-year RSL, it may need an inch mill and overlay and now kick it back up to a 15, 16-year service life. Little things like that. But ideally, that's the goal, is to get onto a program where we would treat every road once per 5 years, and then that gets to a manageable budget, a programmable budget that we can anticipate and workload and things like that.
Was there any of them that were not repairable that we have to go clear back down and start over on? How many of them?
Oh, yeah.
How many? Okay, let me rephrase that. How many?
I bet you can name
Center
every
mile
single
roads.
road in town that meets that.
I don't have the exact mileage, but I mean, I'll use a perfect example because I drive it. 8th West from right here, from this road on 100 South to 8th South is obviously in some super need. There also is some storm drain issues that are causing that needs to be addressed. The water lines need replaced, the sewer lines, so it's a very expensive road. We are working on a design. Right now, we're getting a price to help a consultant help us get that ready, and then we'll really see what that true cost is, and then figure out how to do that from there. But
Yeah, and I know that Kent personally has got a schedule that he's working off of as well. When I first became mayor, I told Kent I didn't want my road to be done because I'm mayor, and many times people say, well, it just got done because of the mayor. And so I said, do not do my road. And he said, well, I've got it on my schedule. It's got to be done. But it got to the point where I was punishing my neighbors because I was mayor. And he came back to me and said, you've got to get this, I got to get this finished screwing with my schedule. So I relented.
So you got your new road.
So got a new road.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the longer you go, it just, and there's not a lot of factors that go into that. It just gets worse, like everything. So this, I sent them like 3 years worth of budget. So they kind of just took an average of what we've spent. Some years it's less than this, some years it could be more, but this was a number that kind of came out of the last few years of budget. Obviously, it's not quite enough money to do it. So this is based off, like I said, these are a little low, but in 20 years, if we kept it the same rate, our RSL would go up a little bit, but it's still gonna be we're gonna have a lot more roads in that 0 to 5 year RSL than we would like. So if we bump the budget up by 50%, that puts us like a little over 1.6 million. And then you can see like the RSL obviously does, it gets better, but it's still not, we're not getting great improvement. So there's just no good number. So if we double our budget, you can see it obviously goes up a few more points, but it's just, we've got a lot of, we've got like 95, 97 center lane miles of road in Payson. So it's like, we got a plan and we got to stick to it. So they recommended in this report, we update it every 3 to 5 years. We could do it every year if we wanted. We can do it whatever. It was like 20 something thousand to do this. So it wasn't outrageously expensive and it gave us good data. So. And then, like I said, with the GIS layers, when Kent updates one, we can update that in there too and change the number in there and say, oh, we went from, you know, whether it was a 2 or a 1, we could say, oh, it's now brand new and it's a 20, or, you know, we go up to a 15, whatever that number is that we feel like. There's obviously engineering standards. So, this is just kind of, I'll go through these roads really quick. So these are some of the arterial roads. You know, you got American Way, parts of 1400 South need redone, which unfortunately showed up on the wrong slide, but, then you got obviously some of 8 South that we own, it's not UDOT. You know, and you just, like, those are our arterials. We got major collectors, which are Utah Avenue, Arrowhead Trail right now. That one will go to an arterial road at a future date, but right now it's not functioning like that. Main Street, obviously, even though you got the downtown portion, it still is classified a collector road. And then 6th East, which goes up the canyon. And then you got minor collectors. There's a list of some of them. And, you know, like I said, each road is classified a little differently, but, and then of course you got the local roads. Obviously, there's different ways we can do it. We can go off of the condition of the road. We can go off traffic volume. We can go off council priorities. We can do a combination of everything. Start with the worst roads, keep the good roads good. There's a lot of ways we can do it, but obviously I recommend that you keep your brand new roads as good as you can so they don't deteriorate, which you want to keep your arterials and collectors in great condition because that's the roads people use more than they do the other ones. Then we start on our worst roads and do however many we can do a year, you know, and just start tackling it from both ends and then just keep things from getting super bad.
What are we doing now? What's our current schedule? What do you guys do?
So, Kent, his guys, like, we do some slurry seals, occasionally, you know, we'll do some overlays, crack sealing, they started again on last fall. So we just, you know, obviously depending on what it is, we can't do some of it in-house because we don't have enough people or the equipment.
Right, so how are you guys determining which roads to fix as of now?
Right now, we're focused on 0 to 8.
Okay,
And obviously with our slurry seal program, we're keeping our arterial, our main roads, our good roads. We keep them sealed.
Well, you had mentioned money all the way along here. Do we need to increase the staff as well? And like, is it just money that's the issue, or do we need just more manpower out there as well?
All of the above.
Okay. Well, I know we're coming up on a budget, and that's why we're talking about it. And I look at this, if we try to increase it, you know, a little percentage, I feel that the city's gonna grow faster than the percentage we're looking at growing, and then we're gonna be behind the 8 ball again, and well, we'll never get out from behind the 8 ball, I'll be honest with you, but I just don't see it. It's a perpetual problem that's continually growing, and just need, you know, more manpower and money.
Yeah,
it's tough.
it all centers around, we've got great staff to do it, it just centers around money to make it happen.
You know, cause like, even if because we have the paver and to use it, you know, you've gotta have so many people running the paver, you gotta have so many people driving the trucks to go get the asphalt. You gotta have somebody running the roller, so I mean, there is a certain amount of people you have to have, which we unfortunately have not had for a few years, so that's not helping either, so.
it's frustrating too, because even if we double our budget though, it almost is a drop in the budget for these roads.
Yeah, and I mean, there is a limit, right? Like, I wish we could just say, hey, we've got a magic 300 million, we're gonna go do all this, but we don't. You know, we just gotta start eating the brontosaurus, obviously, a bite at a time.
And be realistic as to what we can accomplish, but not look away from.
Exactly. Like, we don't wanna just ignore it, bury our heads in the sand, but we gotta do, you know, we just gotta be smart about how we tackle it.
And we gotta keep up with what we already have and not let that get farther behind.
Correct. So now I'm just gonna quickly go
Just
over
one
the.
second, you got
Oh, go
another
ahead.
question?
I have a question. This is sort of related. Who's in charge of the parking lot behind the library? Is that a city road?
The city owns that. It's not a road.
And we'll be
Well,
parking.
And that is on the schedule. to
Yep,
get
this
redone
spring.
This spring.
Oh, great. Okay.
So
Been a
they,
discussion for about 10 years.
true. So we also did like the sidewalks and signs too, so I'm just gonna go through this really quick. Obviously, same kind of stuff, just, you know, you gotta keep up on it. You know, it lasts a certain amount of time. We surveyed everything. These are, I know, gonna be a little small. This just shows different damage types. So like you can see vertical separation is our biggest issue with our existing sidewalks. So that means where the joints are, you've got one going up or down compared to the other one. That's caused either by tree roots or the soil underneath. You know, clay is horrible and we have a lot of it in Payson, so that's one of our big issues, and that's also, one of the legal issues, because if people trip, that obviously causes issues.
That stuff you can put in there now, that new stuff, can you look at it?
Yeah, you can lift them sometimes.
Yeah.
We're doing quite a bit of that.
It depends on the issue, sometimes you can do that, sometimes you can't. It depends. Like we've had to, just on Utah Avenue, we did a project, was it 4 or 5 years ago? So there was a huge tree. When I mean big, I'm talking like the diameter of the trunk was probably like 8 to 10 feet. And it's right behind the sidewalk. We had to actually get 7 trees to come in to analyze it to see if we cut the roots like you would the limbs, would that tree still live, and not kill it? And they said, yeah, you can do this, this is a percentage you were safe in. So they actually came in, cut all the roots where the sidewalk goes, and then we report it, and I don't think we've had any issues as far as I can see.
Yeah, I've had a number of conversations with Kent in regards to using that, technology to bring that up, and it's expensive too.
You can shave them too.
Yeah, obviously depending on the height difference, if you can't shave it all the way down and there's no concrete left, but you can, if it's a small one, sometimes you can go in and grind them down and then make it even. So there's a lot of different tools in the arsenal. It's just depends on what the issue
Map
is.
all of that,
Yeah,
so you know where they all are. Because sometimes, there was that one that I found down in front of the bowling alley. I looked at that and I thought, well, how is this not? It was 12-inch displacement. It was horrible.
oh, yeah.
And if nobody reports it, nobody sees it, it just becomes, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
It's just.
We've got,
A lot
like I
of
told you how
ground.
many miles of road we have. You got sidewalk on each side of that, and not everywhere, but in some areas you got it everywhere, so. But yeah, these are just kind of different obstacles. You can see mailboxes sometimes are in the sidewalk in the way. You've got plants, trees, rock, people sometimes, put landscape rocks and stuff. We have obviously everything that you can find, but they had documented all that, so we have a list of everything that's obviously that this report talks about. So these are ADA ramps on the corners, so you can cross. As you can see, we have quite a few that are older that don't have detectable warnings in, which now is required by ADA law. So some of those, the only way to replace, you have to just replace them. You can't just go put a detectable warning in. And then some places we obviously don't have ADA ramps. It just depends on the location of where they are. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is all in the older area of the city rather than anything new. Because obviously the new stuff we make it go.
We've had some issues down there that's been taken care of down at the Heritage Village too, so it's also been taken care of.
We don't have to put in new ADA ramps unless we're changing something significantly, right?
So if you do a road, by state law, if you do a road project, you are required to update the ADA ramps along that. Even if you weren't gonna touch the curb gutter and sidewalk, you are still required to make sure those all now meet code.
So all the way up Main Street will have to be done.
Yep, correct. So yeah, you can, I don't know, it changes a lot, so you have to keep up on all this stuff and what's required.
Did you notice when the UDOT came through on SR 198 all the way from Spanish Fork to Salem, they did it before they laid it.
Yeah, that's why is because they're required to, when you're doing a project, could be an overlay, you gotta still go fix all that stuff.
I noticed Zion's Bank didn't take out the ADA ramp. They went right up to it.
So this is just a heat map. Obviously, the brighter the color, the bad areas. So you can see, obviously, these sidewalk issues are all over the city. It's not just confined to say 1 or 2 neighborhoods. They're everywhere. And then these just give kind of a dollar figure, of the different types down at the bottom. So the vertical separation, the multiple cracks, that kind of stuff. This is just another heat map. Same kind of thing, just obviously if there was a ramp or wasn't, you can see those are a little more localized in certain areas that the ramps are missing or bad than the sidewalk, so. Just this was a cost in there. I'm thinking really this is probably a higher number to go out and fix all of the issues that they just listed. They're saying 4.5 million. I think it's actually higher. They're just saying recommended to complete the projects in 10 to 20 years. Right now, they're saying a budget of 300,000 to 450,000 is what's recommended to help start tackling some of these issues with ADA and that, which obviously Kent has a budget, of 300,000 that we're doing for curb and gutter and stuff like that. So
Is it doing the job? Is it helpful enough?
I mean, like I said, money's always that issue that we wish we had more of. 300,000 unfortunately doesn't go a long ways, but it is making a dent.
We got about $180,000 budgeted for sidewalk repair.
How much?
180.
Well, we have that 300,000 we put in a couple of years.
That's curb and gutter.
Oh, is that just curb and gutter on the sidewalk?
And then he has money for sidewalk repairs too. So. Well, like I said, it's just, like I
That was
said,
new depths, right?
as Councilman Rowley told you about UDOT, they're telling us we're about 40 million now off of what we need to tie over to Main Street with the new interchange, going over the railroad track and that. And so it's just, you throw these numbers out there and people think, what the heck, the sewer plant, 70 million, like it's.
And that's why we're actively working with our lobbyists to find more money that we can benefit from.
But that's it. So if you got any specific other questions we didn't ask, that's kind of, I just wanted to present this because obviously we went through and just, obviously we all know we live here, we drive the roads. Some are great, some need some work, but it is a big project and it's sometimes overwhelming to keep up, but just thought it would be good for you all to see it and kind of see what's out there and kind of see that information.
So do they give us a grade or overall rating in this as a city?
That was
That's not the C.
Yeah.
They did say that we are not the worst city that they evaluated.
So, I mean, they don't give you like an overall grade per se, but if you look at here, it says, we have approximately 14.7% of the roads in the 1 to 2 year, and our average is 11.15. So out of 20, you can see we're a little above halfway on our average, which is not horrible, but we just got to try to obviously address some of these down in this realm here and not let more of these drop clear down into the.
I travel a lot since I became mayor and I've been to many of the cities and we're definitely not good.
Not the only ones.
We're not the only one.
No.
It's just that we need to keep our eye on the
Yeah, as
ball.
bad as we would like to say that, there's every city faces the same problem. So.
Yeah, this is one of my priorities. I'd like to see it.
Jim, did you have a comment?
Does this include the walking trails as well, walking paths?
Not the trails, no, just sidewalks themselves.
I have a question. Is this presentation available on the city website already? Is it linked there? It's along with the agenda?
It's in the packet.
It is, wonderful.
Any other comments? Council?
Good study, good information.
Yeah, like I said, I know all my stuff's expensive. It's like it's Sean's stuff. He comes in here and wants, $20 million.
Packing away at.
Yeah, but you don't ever threaten to turn our TVs off and he does.
I was thank you.
Just keeping our television, our Wi-Fi, we know how those run.
You gotta remember though, I control your water and sewer.
That's great.
You know what?
That's hot dogs, actually.
Okay, thank you again for that presentation, Travis. Moving on to G, adjournment to closed meeting. So, I would like a motion from the council to go into closed meeting.
Mayor, I'd like to motion that we adjourn the regular meeting and go into closed meeting on January 15th, 2025 at 7:21 p.m. to discuss the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of an individual.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Ready for,
I just have one question.
what's that? Yes.
Well, it was about this though. We can vote.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.